Hey everybody, this is Charles Hain, one of the tech writers here at No Film School, and No Film School and XEEN have partnered up to do a hands-on video with their new XEEN CF lenses, sponsored by the company. They were generous enough to get us a set of these lenses. I think they're the first set in North America that we're getting to shoot with. We were able to do a whole bunch of cool behind-the-scenes shooting. We did warehouse shooting, we did drone shooting, and we wanted to share this video with you, sort of going over all the cool technical details that go into the lenses and what it's like to actually work with them. One cool thing about this video, everything you are seeing shot with XEEN. The BTS camera, Blackmagic Ursa, has a XEEN on it. The Fuji X-H1 that we're running around getting extra BTS footage. PL adapter, XEEN CF. And of course, all our principal camera, Arri Alexa, XEEN CF. The first thing you're probably going to notice about the XEEN CF lenses is the name, CF. A lot of people think that the CF refers to carbon fiber. You can see there's carbon fiber underneath my little fingers right there. I've been told that CF actually doesn't stand for carbon fiber, it stands for compact flexible. And the real goal XEEN had when designing these lenses is they wanted to make a lens that was as physically small and light as possible for handheld work, for stabilizer work, and especially for drone work. For all of those situations where you want really high image quality, but you also want a lens that's not going to overly tax your stabilization system. We're able to get it in a drone. I've done a lot of handheld work with it, and I've been very impressed with the image quality you've been able to get out of such a physically compact lens. Let's talk a little bit about carbon fiber. Carbon fiber is this material you see right here, and it's been popular in a bunch of other industries for a while. You don't see a lot of it in motion pictures, but the interesting thing about carbon fiber is that carbon fiber is simultaneously very light, but very stiff. So usually you think of lightweight materials like plastics not being exceptionally stiff, right? Plastics tend to be very flexible. And then you think of materials like metals being much stiffer. Obviously in a lens, you want a lot of stiffness. You want a lens that you're going to be able to crank on that focus, right? You're going to be able to put your super powerful focus motor on, and the lens barrel isn't going to have any flex in it, because if the lens barrel flexed, that's going to throw the lenses out of alignment. So you want, when you're designing a lens, a very stiff body to be able to handle those rotational forces that are coming to them. You also want a lot of lightweight, so carbon fiber is one of the ways they were able to achieve that. But it's also really important to talk about their compact size. They're physically very short. This is a 16 millimeter. Also, in terms of radius, very compact. And why is that useful to filmmakers? The big thing we get into when you're thinking about stabilizing a camera is you've always got, on any kind of stabilizer, you're on a Ronin, you're on a Movi, you're in a gimbal, you're up in the air, you always have a lens and a camera, and then you always have a system that's trying to keep them in balance, and it's using motors which require electricity to keep them in balance. The heavier or physically bigger your lens is, going one direction, the more counterweight you need on the other side, or if you don't have that, the harder the motor has to work to keep things in balance. So a shorter lens is going to make it easier and less work for the overall motors of your gimbal. So you're going to have longer between changing batteries, which is going to make it less likely that a battery is going to die in the middle of a take, and it's going to make your life easier when shooting. More interesting than that, for me, is this really small radius they've worked on. If you know the original XEENs were a little bit bigger. They're still very nice lenses, but the drawback to physically bigger lenses across is as the barrel of the lens gets bigger, you're pushing any focus and iris motors further out from the center of the lens. And in a stabilizer, you have a motor that's trying to keep the horizon. You have a motor that's trying to keep this lens stable. The further you have weight out, the harder that motor has to work because of, basic physics. So you really want a lens that's super compact so the motors can stay super compact, so you're burning less battery time because that's going to give you longer time. This is the biggest deal in the air. We've all had that situation when we're shooting with drones where there's a whole bunch of things we have to choreograph on the ground. We get everything set up on the ground, we get the drone in the air, and then there's some sort of hiccup and we're like, oh, but we actually have to reset something that we didn't plan to reset. And then we bring the drone back down because we only have a certain amount of fly time out of a drone to do shots. A compact lens, a lightweight camera package is going to give you a longer fly time, and it's going to make your life more flexible when you're flying bigger cameras. Everything in the XEEN CF line covers full frame, which we're increasingly seeing more and more full frame image capture in motion pictures. You're going to want a full frame camera, you're going to want to fly that camera, and you're going to want to pair it with a lens that naturally fits itself in those kind of handheld, stabilized drone kind of situations. So that's what we did. As you can see in all of this footage here, we took it up in the air, flew it all over the East River, got some really beautiful footage. All of that was possible to do in total full frame, because we had a smaller, lighter weight set of lenses that were more compact. The other thing is the lens coatings. The important thing to understand about a lens coating: every time light travels from one surface to another, some light is lost to reflection. So if I have light going in and light going out, every time it goes surface to surface, from air to glass, from glass to glass, from glass to air, every single one of those steps is a step in which you lose a little bit of light to reflection. What the lens coatings are, they're called anti-reflective coatings, and what they're designed to do is they're designed to minimize that reflection and make more of the light go through and less of the light get reflected back. Now, that doesn't mean the light has no reflection. I'm sure if you look around here, you can see some reflections in the lens. They'll have a color cast from the anti-reflective coating, so you're never gonna get, it's never gonna be Vanta black. There's always gonna be some sort of reflection on it, but you wanna minimize those reflections so more of the light is going through. So yeah, and we really wanted to put these lenses through their paces. We couldn't think of a better way to put them through their paces. And we did a whole fun day flying up and down on the East River, getting these lenses up in the air. And it was impressive to be able to fly for as long as we could with a full frame sensor, lenses that could cover the full frame, and really run it for a long run. So that is working with the XEEN CF primes. These are really small, really compact lenses that give you a whole lot of flexibility and lightweight. I mean, we managed to build up, adapted to a very small camera, a whole camera package that was PL prime and only weighed like 3.9 pounds. You could fit that on a Ronin SC if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could probably do some Ronin S shooting with PL mount here, which is great. You're gonna get longer fly times in your drone. But also, despite being such small lenses, really nice imagery. We found some really flattering skin tones, some really nice, a little hint of warmth. So there's a lot of stuff there. We have a whole nother video coming just talking about the imagery and the image quality, not even about the tech stuff. And these lenses, official announcement today, February 14th, they're going to be available worldwide early March in PL mounts, Canon EF mounts, and Sony E mount. So be on the lookout early March.